When we caught wind of the rumors of your disappearance, we patiently awaited news of your return, but then Dragonus was struck by a series of terrible events. The first was the sabotage of logistics that hampered shipments. Then mass unrest spread across the entire planet, and the minor noble houses began squabbling among themselves, trying to pin the blame on their rivals. We took the great pains to calm them down and managed to squash their revolt, though not without some outside help, unfortunately. These events has also been overshadowed by the, I'm ashamed to even say it aloud in front of you, your lordship, the rumors circulating among the higher houses. The governor stammers, then takes a deep breath. Some were calling for Theodora's true heir to be installed as head of your house, Conrad Vogtfir. Not all of your subjects have forgotten his past efforts for the benefit of the Trade Protectorate. Drivestem stops talking, watching you with a tense expression. When the investigation was launched, the evidence led us to the Viserions. Why are there dead bodies at the entrance to my palace? Your lordship, I humbly beg your pardon, Drivestem bows once again, trying to placate you. You see, right before your arrival, the palace guard discovered a plot to assassinate you. Fortunately, the malefactors were disposed of before they could cause you any harm. Yeah, I wasn't even here. Or did they know I was about to land? Drivestem, you aren't accusing one of the Dragonus leading noble houses for treason without airtight evidence, are you? Of course I have evidence, your lordship. The investigation has established that members of the Viserion family, which is responsible for both Dragonus fleet and its logistics, used their contacts and influence to force a host of documents in order to undermine the planet's supply routes and economy, thus fomenting unrest among the inhabitants. Allow me to introduce my son, Cornelius. The governor points to the lackey young man standing behind him. He bows courteously, but avoids meeting your eye. Cornelius holds a prestigious position at the Administratum Palace, and it is thanks to him that we managed to identify and trace the entire chain of forged documents. The investigation led us to the perpetrators, who admitted to acting on the orders of members of House Viserion. It was they who were intent on spreading the idea of restoring the title of Rogue Trader to the true heir. Let's do awareness, we're good at it. Look closer at the governor's son. We succeed. Noticing the close attention of the rogue trader, the young man averts his gaze. His long face is sweating and he presses his dry lips together tightly into a thin line. He seemed to be afraid of something. Speak to the head of houses present. Do you support the governor's accusations? The aristocrats in attendance exchange glances. The noble lords averting their gazes and the noble ladies hiding behind their fans. No one is willing to be the first to answer. Over many years of service, Governor Drivestem earned Theodora's trust, and he holds the high office for a reason. Saurback's tone is stern and imperious. On behalf of House Saurback, I support his accusations. Regina Saurback, my apologies, your lordship, but I wish to speak to... Regina looks into your eyes with a tender half-smile, then turns her gaze to her husband. Of course, I agree with my husband. Governor Drivestem would not press charges against anyone if he were not absolutely certain of the authenticity of the evidence he had unearthed. I think anyone here would agree that anyone who ever doubts the authority of the true rogue trader should be prosecuted. I am sure, your lordship, that you will eradicate the source of heresy from your domain. Regina bows to you deferentially while maintaining eye contact with you. So, yeah, the power struggle here is real. Your lordship, Governor Drivestem, has always faithfully served the rogue traders of House von Valancius and concerned himself with the future of your trade dynasty, and so House Gaprak thinks his charge against House Viserion to be sound. The augmentics hide Toriana's emotion, but her voice sounds slightly timorous. I humbly ask you to allow me to speak in defense of my family's honor. The evidence provided by the governor is utterly false. I cannot refute it, but I can say with confidence that no one from my family has ever tried to forge documents in the Adeptus Administratum, let alone undermine the economy of your capital. Kindly allow me to speak as well, your lordship. Hetka Saurback offers you an eager bow. The opportunity to serve on your ship is a great honor for me and my family. These charges are grievous indeed and thus require the attention of the rogue trader. Should you decide to conduct an investigation, I would be happy to assist. Your words alone are not enough to make me doubt the loyalty of House Viserion. As the rogue trader, I order you to release them from custody at once. Let's see, 5. Sabotaging logistic riots conspiracy. The case appears to be flimsy. I wish to learn more before I make my final decision. 6 is, I do not have the time to deal with this. Drivestem, I accept the findings of your... Yeah. Okay, so we are not... We are not... I don't know if I can trust her. But just because Abelard is a beast and a loyal servant, we'll go with him. I order you to release them from custody at once. Under different circumstances, I would not have dared to disobey your word, your lordship. But I am afraid that this situation demands that the guilty receive their due punishment. This sabotage of logistical chains perpetrated on the capital world of your dynasty has naturally had an effect on tithe collection. The most honorable representative of the Adeptus Arbites will be here before long to investigate the matter. Alas, their attention puts both you personally and the entire protectorate at risk. However, we still have a chance to elevate their displeasure by resolving this incident ourselves and punishing the culprits. Sabotaging logistics, riots, conspiracy. The case appears to be flimsy. I wish to learn more before I make my final decision. As you wish, your lordship, the governor inclines his head in a stiff bow. Speak to me when you're ready to announce your verdict. Thank you for your willingness to help, Lord Captain. I'm certain that all charges are false, and I would be grateful for your help in exposing them as such. I think you should speak to everyone present, the noble lords and ladies.
Know your duty.
As you draw closer, the wardens step aside, bowing respectfully and allowing you to approach the Viserion family. Clementia, tired and slightly disheveled, is the first to bow her head to you in deference. Several men and women behind her follow suit. Your lordship, the woman stammers, as if lost for words. Accept my most humble apologies for failing to greet you properly, and my thanks for agreeing to speak with me, before making your final decision. The charges brought by the governor are severe, but I can only assure you of this, and I swear on my honor, we are not guilty of the crimes that House Viserion is being accused of. Clementia. A hint of sorrow creeps into Abelard's voice, belying his stern facade. You were acting head of this family. You were supposed to take care of each and every family member, and now you are being accused of treason and collusion against a rogue trader, and the entire family is facing death. How could you let this happen?
Are you guilty? Be honest. I will not tolerate lies.
I don't even know if that doesn't work.
Are you truly guilty? Be honest. I don't tolerate lies.
It will only be what you believe, if you believe the answer or not. Like, that doesn't work. The governor claims you forged documents in the administratum. The fleet is the primary remit of the House Viserion. It is our responsibility. Logistics and supply routes are another area of responsibility. We have no direct influence on the inner workings of the Adeptus Administratum. The first large-scale deliveries were cancelled after qualities of food were miscalculated by clerks in the Administratum. Then we were faced with incorrect weather data and meager fuel budgets. It was clear that the cause of all these problems was the calculation performed in the Administratum. In one way or another, but no matter how many times we asked, we could not ever obtain any clarification on the matter. I found this letter on one of the bodies of the heretics who planned to attack. What can you tell me about it? While Clementia reads the letter, the Viserions behind her read it over her shoulder. Your lordship, let us be frank. It would be foolish of me to try and orchestrate something like this. Knowing how many wardens are patrolling your palace, I would not have let myself or anyone in my family get involved in such a scheme. The attackers were high-functioning servitors, one that looked closer to ordinary humans. Do you know anything about them? Servitors? Is that so? Clementia crosses her arms and furrows her brow, deep in thought. I have encountered servitors that were indistinguishable from normal augmented humans, but only once. They were accompanying several members of House Gaprak. If you are not guilty, who is? Who stands to gain from framing you? Anyone, really, Clementia replies with a bitter laugh. The other houses consider us unworthy of our position, and many would jump at the chance to get rid of us and gain control over what once was our domain, the planet's fleet and logistics at the very least. Lady Theodora chose to grant noble status to House Viserion. But the other houses, which have served the Expanse for millennia, did not welcome the decision. It has led to some difficulties. I want to find out what is going on here and who the real mastermind behind all this is. Where should I start? I am afraid I cannot be of much help. Talk to the representatives of other houses, eavesdrop on their retinue, and perhaps you will hear something unusual. I'll take my leave. Okay, let's eavesdrop then. Trumped up charges are the only reason we are standing here today, nothing more. Lady Clementia, she won't let us be killed, will she? Every Viserion has dedicated their life to serve the Von Valancius dynasty. We do not betray our ideals. All these charges, there cannot possibly be any evidence to there cannot possibly be any evidence to corroborate. I don't know how to pronounce that. We are not involved in any plot. Okay. Every Viserion. Yeah, same. Trumped up. Yeah. Trumped up. Lord the Great Rogue Trader. Greetings, your lordship.
By the blood of masses.
Long live the Rogue Trader. Okay, let's see here. Warden, aristocrat. Okay, a giant cry. My lady, please come down. Did you see what happened here? It was terrible. They seemed to be ordinary low-ranking aristocrats. What with their tasteless, gaudy clothes, and then they pulled out weapons. Oh, goodness gracious. Pass me the wine, please. Thank you, my lady. Do you remember anything else by any chance? I do not remember anything else. Throne, have mercy. I am quite overcome. I need to sit down. Okay. Let's talk to this guy. Nothing happens. Yeah. Okay, let's see what we got over here then. His lordship will make the right decision and punish the culprits. You can be sure of that. As long as Macarius is the head of our house, we have nothing to worry about. As long as, yeah.
With
So
each step,
this is the
I
Sourbacks.
forge my destiny among the stars.
So they seem to be trusting in my judgment. Before bowing, Sourback scrutinizes you with a bitter, judgmental look. Well, looks like I'm wrong, your lordship. Hetka Sourback, looking like a younger copy of his father, stands at a slight distance. Close to his mother. An expensive yet understated dress serves to highlight the dazzling beauty of Macarius's wife, Regina Sourback. Your lordship, I am delighted that you have chosen to grace us with your attention. Regina drops into a courtesy while looking intently into your eyes. Okay. Is this the one we were flirting with earlier to mess with the guy? Kiss Regina's hand. yeah, it is. Well, let's do it. Kiss Regina's hand. I'm honored, Lady Sourback. Noticing your gesture, Regina readily extends her delicate hand, her nails long and manicured. Why, how kind of you to say, your lordship. Burning eyes fixed on you, Sourback straightens and leans forward, trying to particularly occupy the space between you and his wife. Set against the doom and gloom of current events and your husband's doing family, you look especially dazzling today, Regina. Persuasion test succeed. A flirtatious spark flares in the beautiful lady's eyes. Really, your lordship, I am glad to hear this from the rogue trader, especially today. Macarius almost barks, every word striking like a hammer strikes metal. Regina, step away from his lordship! Regina's high voice almost breaks into a shriek. She interrupts her husband, retorting defiantly and disobediently. O throne preserve you, Macarius. Stop being so jealous and making a scene of nothing. Just because a crude blockhead like you lacks the refinement of and courtesy of Svinte von Valancius. Regina's voice drops to a whisper, so that only you can hear her. His bile poisons the air around him wherever he goes. Once he gets something into his head, he hears off to remove the heads of others just to prove that he is right in the right. Oh dear. He is killing anyone threatening his position. Well, that's... Do you really believe that the Viserions are guilty? Certainly. Sourback replies without hesitation. Governor Drivestem possesses proof of their guilt, and they have no means by which to refute it. Even if I were to entertain the idea that the Viserions are being framed, how much longer would their house have lasted anyway? It is so ill-prepared for treachery. If it is so ill-prepared for treachery. So he is blaming them for getting framed? Even if I was to entertain the idea that the Viserions are being framed, how much longer would their house have lasted anyway if it is so ill-prepared for treachery? Yeah, he is actually doing that. He addresses Abelard with a slightly mocking tone. My advice to House Viserion would be not to appeal to the rogue trader for help, but instead to simply stop, accept their fate, and not make matters worse for themselves. I cannot remember Svinte von Valancius seeking your advice on what House Viserion should do in this situation, Pay attention, Macarius. Focus on the rogue trader's questions. Who apart from the Viserions could have a motive to conspire against me? House drives them, wishing to expand their clout. House Gaprak, who lost their influence after the Kiava Gamma incident. Sourback looks back at his family, then turns to you again. House Sourback, whose patriarch is too direct in his communication with the rogue trader. Anyone could have a reason to conspire against you, and equally, they could have none. It is not a question of motive, but of loyalty. Each of your subjects has sworn an oath of loyalty to you, so whose sincerity do you doubt? Okay, so it's a very practical way of looking at it. So it's he doesn't really care about the truth. He's okay. The assailants sent to the palace were rare, high-functioning servitors. Do you think that the Gapraks could be behind the attack? Sourback looks away briefly and replies to you with a curt laugh. I have always thought Toriana too weak to participate in such risky ventures, but it seems I was wrong about her. So he entertains that idea. The Viserions thought too highly of themselves, lucky their brush with power has been brief. The House Arbeck has faithfully served Von Valancia's dynasty of rogue trader. We have never given anyone cause to doubt our loyalty. His lordship will make the right decision and punish the culprits. You can be sure of that. As long as House Macarius is head of our house, we have nothing to worry about. We leave. Okay, so let's see what the servitors say here. Reporting on current actions, data extraction from the memory repository of the servitor will make 3 standing Terran cycles. 3 years. That's a long time. Data decoding will take 30 standard Terran cycles. Reporting on current actions, data extraction from the memory repository of the servitors will take, yeah, same. The quiet humming of servo motors is occasionally interrupted by clicking coming from somewhere within the servitor. Yeah, same on all of them. Does Governor Drives Them really have evidence of the Viserion guilt? How could the Viserions act against his lordship? Unthinkable. People are saying that Theodora wanted to name someone else as her heir. Nonsense. There's only one true rogue trader. Okay, so that's loyalty. The heretics deserve to be exposed and executed, even those among us. People are saying that Theodora wanted to name someone else. Yeah. So they are not listening to the... well, that's not good. Then Viserions seems to be on our side, and the only logical option would be the Gapraks because of the servitors that attacked. And the Gapraks are not listening to The second the Vogtfyr. Vogtfyr. Damn it. I thought this was gonna get easy. I was gonna blame Gaprax. Now I don't know.